Well, there's an awful lot in retrospect that I can share about Father Benedict. I just want to say from the outset that he had a fundamental part in my spiritual development, and I really think he was key in giving me the courage at last to enter the Church of the Eastern Communion. I did not become Catholic. I became Eastern Orthodox, and yet I've always maintained my connections with the Roman Church. And I'd like to say that I really think it was his self-donating, sacrificial example, the way he worked with the poor, his life's example more than his intellect, which was large, that gave me the courage to believe in the mission of the Church.
Well, as I don't know if you know, I was originally Jewish, and I converted to Roman Catholicism in 1987. And it wasn't until 1990 at my son's confirmation at Kellenberg High School on Long Island that I met Father Glenn. And I saw this kind of strange looking guy in the distance. And my son's friend's father said, look who that is. I said, who is it? He says, it's my friend, Glenn Sedano from Brooklyn. I said, why is he dressed like that? And he said, well, he's a Franciscan friar. He said, want to meet him? I said, well, not really. I said, I don't really know him. He bragged me over, and I said to him, oh, you're Father Glenn? I said, well, what are you? And he explained, and we spoke for about 5 minutes, and he said to me, come visit me in South Bronx. I said, oh yes, I'm running up to South Bronx to see you. He talked me into driving up to South Bronx. And I get up there in this neighborhood, because at that time, South Bronx was Fort Apache, and somebody named Brother Harry, who is now Father Harold Joseph Brock, met me, and he said, do you have a radio in your car? I said, yes. He said, well, it's not safe. He pulled the radio out of the car, and he says, come inside, and I met with Father Glenn, and he took me to this shelter here, and I spent all day. I did something called midday prayer, which I never heard of. We had lunch, then we had afternoon prayer. Then I called my wife, and I said, Diane, I just met this incredible group of guys. I said, I'm going to hang for a while. They invited me for dinner and this thing, Holy Hour. So I thought it was like happy hour. I didn't know like what it was. And I said, great. I said, I'll hang, and you sit in this room for an hour and they pray, and I'm like, they do this every day? I said, this is amazing. Didn't get home till like 11:30 at night.
After I was baptized, he inscribed his first book, Spiritual Passages, for me, and I was a bit of a arrogant whippersnapper. Of course, I thought I knew everything. And Father asked me, so I hope you like this book. And I came back after I'd read it, and he said, what'd you think? I said, you're a writer, because I already was doing editorial work and writing. And I said, well, Father, I thought it was a pretty good book, but your style was rather pedestrian. And without missing a beat, in all humility, he said, I'll try to make the next one a bit more exciting. And when I think back on that now, how humble an act that was, putting up with this young know-it-all. It's really quite a testament to the virtue of humility.
Anyway, that next week, I had an opportunity to meet this Father Benedict Groeschel. And he was the founder of the community, and I met him, and when I met this man the first time and he took my hand, it was like, and I was never a religious guy. I mean, I converted to Catholicism, it was very nice. There was something about him that just, you could feel, you just like sort of fit in. And I met him that one time, and I couldn't wait to meet him again. Every single time I met him, and there were many times, it was like I just knew him all my life. And he just will leave an indelible impression on this world. And I'm sure in the next couple of 100 years, there will be a Saint Benedict Groeschel in our midst. That's it.
Thank you so much.